Okay, so today what you're gonna need is you're gonna need watercolor, and you're only gonna need one color. Whatever color you choose, you're gonna need the complementary color to that in a piece of construction paper. So say you have a piece of purple construction paper, you are going to need yellow watercolor, or vice versa. So remember your complementary colors and pick your pair. You're also going to need a black marker just for some finishing touches. You're going to need a pencil, you're going to need some glue, some scissors, and a piece of paper to paint on. So there we have it, a lot of materials today. Today for art class, we are going to begin with some journaling. So get your pencil, get a scrap piece of paper, and start to answer these questions. Reflect back on that book we just read by Peter H. Reynolds called Be You. Think of one of the words that he said to be, whether it's be adventurous, be brave, be understanding. Think about which word best fits who you are right now. And then finish the sentence. I am proud to be, and write that out. So I'm gonna write my answer, but it's gonna be different than yours because we are not the same. So write your answer. And then maybe write a brief description of why you're proud to be that specific characteristic. Then answer the following question. I want to exercise my ability to be blank. So this could be one of those characteristics that you don't think you're super great at right now, but you know that it's within you to be able to be that. So for me, it's definitely patience. I want to exercise my ability to be patient. But you are not me, and so yours is going to be different. And then write a brief description of why it is difficult for you to do that and how you may be able to exercise more of that characteristic or ability. Last question is, finish this sentence. The memory I had when I felt most like me was, and write a brief description of that memory. And then if you finish, think of some ways that you could symbolize these things. How could you symbolize these words? How can you symbolize yourself? How can you create images to symbolize your memory? Okay, so now that we have our reflection, let's go back to that boat pictures that we drew at the beginning of class. So we drew a couple of different boats, and so we're going to choose one of your boats, and I'm going to try this one to draw really big on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be super big, maybe just like half the paper, a little bigger than here. And think first, so let's go ahead and draw that boat, actually. So I'm drawing this boat. And you want it to be somewhat big, but you don't want it to fill the entire paper. And you want to do your lines pretty soft because we're going to come in and paint it. Too big. So you may not have put sails on your boat. That is totally okay. Because of who I am, I wanted some sails on my boat. And once you draw your boat, you're going to draw 4 or 5 circles. They can be all different sizes. Okay. Now to talk about complementary colors. So we have this drawn, and remember our primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. And we mix our primary colors, we get our secondary colors. So red and blue make purple, blue and yellow make green, yellow and red make orange. So we got our primary and our secondary colors. And then we have our warm colors and our cool colors. But did you know that colors across from each other on the color wheel are complementary colors? So that means yellow and purple are complementary, orange and blue are complementary, red and green are complementary. So we are going to use complementary colors. So for our boat and our circles, they're going to be one color, and then we're going to cut them out. We're going to cut them out and paste them on that complementary color. So construction paper. So think about a piece of construction paper that you have. And if you don't have construction paper, you can make your own construction paper the same way we're making the boat. So think about what background you want and what color you want in the foreground. So I think I want my background to be, I want it to be purple. So I'm choosing purple, which means I'll have to paint this yellow. So I'm gonna actually do the opposite because I don't want to paint with yellow. I'm gonna paint this purple and my background's gonna be yellow. So I'm gonna put that there just to remind me that I need to do purple, but remind yourself whatever pair you picked, okay? So with a white crayon, so take your white crayon and in your boat, or even in your boat, draw something that symbolizes you. So for me, I chose a memory of when I was in India. So with my white crayon, I am going to do some henna patterns in my boat to represent India. You did not go to India, maybe you have, but you didn't go with me. So you will do different patterns or symbols to represent that story when you felt most like yourself. So maybe it was a story where you were at the beach and you want to do the ocean and and draw patterns of the ocean in your boat. And it's hard to see with the white crown. You can kind of see it somewhat. Or maybe you were in the mountains and you want to draw mountains. Or maybe you liked the way sunflowers make you feel, so you want to draw sunflowers because they remind you of being brave or being understanding. You know, you could really do anything. We're going to draw with that white crown. You kind of have to angle yourself in a way to see it a little better because it's hard to see. You have to like get that glare. Okay, so I'm going to do a couple more of those patterns in my sail. You want to push really hard when you're doing a crown resist because, oh, there it goes. Because you want it to be really waxy, so when we come back over with the watercolor paper, it'll have that nice resistance. This is why it's called a crown resist, is because the wax and the crown resist the water and the watercolor, and it creates a really cool effect. So really, you're just drawing you. You get to draw whatever you want in your design. Be you. I kind of like that you can't see mine because I don't want you to draw what I'm drawing. I want you to draw what you want to draw. Maybe you are just doing a few lines. Maybe not. I don't know. Okay. Maybe you're just doing some dots. But think about who you are as you make our little boat. This is going to be the boat from that last page in the BU book. That's kind of the inspiration here. Okay, so you can't see it, but I have a bunch of white lines here. And I'm not in your circles, but you're going to take your watercolor brush and remember what color you're going to do the background. So my background's yellow, I have to do purple. If your background's orange, you got to do blue. If it's blue, you got to do orange. If it's green, you got to do red. If it's red, you got to do green. Think about your complementary colors, because we want this boat to stand out in complementary colors. So I'm doing purple. Sorry, this is my purple watercolor. It's a little funny. So with this paper, it's helpful to get a good amount of pigment on because it's kind of flimsy. And here we go, see? Now the pattern's coming out. And we're gonna cut this out. So it's okay if you kind of go outside the lines. So with watercolor, so we're only painting our boat one color, and that's going to be the complementary color. With watercolor, it's important to think about the proportions of color to pigment. We call the paint the pigment. And that's the most difficult thing to determine with watercolor, because it's very easy to add too much water and your paint runs, and it's very easy to not put enough. So you have to find that perfect combination. So I like to make my outline a little darker, so I have to add a little bit more pigment. Bring it around. Okay. So continue painting your boat. Maybe you finished and you want to start cutting it out. You can go ahead and do that. Or you can just watch me until you finish. So this should be a very you art project. We're combining a lot of the techniques that we've learned throughout the semester to create this one cool final VU artwork. And maybe you're still drawing. Take your time with it. There is no rush whatsoever. And so remember that picture from the story? With the balloons. In the balloons, you're going to put a little message to yourself of what's going to keep who you are afloat. So these are some hard concepts for 4th grade, but I know you guys are smart enough to be able to understand it. So again, go back to those words that we talked about, that you just journaled about. And we're gonna take our crayon again. This time, let's take the complementary color. So we did white in our boat, but now we're gonna do the complementary color of purple. So I'm gonna do yellow in here. So the same color as your background paper. You're gonna write the different words. So in one, you just need to write be you, because you are awesome. And we're gonna write it with the same color as our piece of paper, the complementary color to the boat. Be you. And then what else? What did you put on your words? You're proud to be, what words stood out to you? You write your words. And then what word were you kind of struggling with being, that you want to encourage yourself to be? Mine was patient. Patient. And then pick maybe just one more word that you like. be kind. Okay, so now that we have those written down, I'm gonna come back in with that purple, the complementary color to the words. You're gonna color in that circle. Isn't it cool how the wax in the crayon resists the watercolor? It's kind of fun just to watch. If you make a mistake, remember, how can you turn your mistake into something awesome? Okay, now we're gonna cut this out. Uh-oh, see, I made a mistake. I'm gonna figure out how to make that, turn that into something awesome. Sometimes it helps to cut out a piece and then cut out that surrounds it, and then to cut out that piece. So if you make a mistake with your scissors, remember that you can easily fix it because we're gluing this on. So you can glue your pieces back together if you make a mistake, and it'll be fine. Okay, and look, I have white pieces here, so I'm gonna fold them, make a slit, open it up, and I'll be able to wiggle my scissors in here and cut that out. Pinch it together, make a slit, open it up, wiggle my scissors in. Feels really a little fragile right now, especially with cutting such a thin line. Oh, see, I cut it. It's too small. But that is okay, because I can glue it back together and it'll be okay. All right, so here we go. Got our complementary colors, our boats standing out. I'm gonna flip that page. Nope. I'm just gonna glue that over there to keep that safe. Then we're gonna get our glue. And glue it all down. So glue your boat first. Come on, little guy. I like to rub my glue in. If that gets messy, you can do that with a paintbrush. But it keeps it from like making that, well, if you have stick glue, that's even better. But I do not, so it keeps it from having that super, you know when it bevels in one spot, and you can tell where the glue lines are? Those sails to give that 3D look. Look, I just glued that back together. Okay, now glue your balloons. These are going to be balloons. Down. I glued that in the wrong spot. This is going to have to be here. So you can choose to put the glue all around or have it pop out a bit. Your choice. That one's flat, that one's flat, these are popping out. Then from here, we gotta add the final touches. So get a black marker or maybe another color marker, maybe that same complementary color, like maybe purple. Well, maybe I'll do purple actually. Let's see. Let me try purple. And you're going to draw little strings that go down, holding up the boat. So they're holding it up. And then I'm going to add a black outline just to kind of make everything a little bit bolder, a little bit more intentional, stand out more. don't think I'll outline my sails, just my boat. And there we go. There's a very you piece of art.